Yo ho ho, Don Mafia. Welcome to yet another edition of the Don Mafia Report. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. I have stepped out of the depression den and I am back in full force, spitting out consistent content, giving you them vids, baby. And yes, I'm fully aware that the Buffalo Bills lost a heartbreaker. This is probably going to be the most memed catch in the entire year of 2020. But it doesn't matter. I gotta stay consistent. Today is a new day. What's happening in this video is I am doing something that has been highly requested the past couple of weeks, and that is NFL power rankings. So I'm going to be doing the top 10 teams. A lot of teams that are in this top 10, it's going to taste like shit coming out of my mouth saying that they are in the top 10. But you know what? I have to stay unbiased, and yet here we are. Before we dive into it, I need to give a giant shout out to today's sponsor, and that just so happens to be Tavour. If you love craft beer and you do not have Tavour downloaded on your phone, well, frankly, you're a poser. This company allows you to explore some of the rarest craft beers known to man in the United States, and they send it to your front doorstep. Using the app is super easy. What you do is download the app, scroll through some of the rarest craft beers known to man, select what you want, and they will send it directly to your front doorstep. And so are you in Arkansas and miss the craft beer you once had in Alaska? Send it. And are you in New York and love the craft beer you had in Utah? Send it. It's there, baby. Legitimately revolutionizing the beer run. And so what makes it even better is that Tavour is hooking up the Don Mafia. Very simple process. What you do is download the app and type in the code Don Mafia, and you will receive $10 off after you spend your first $25. It's basically like I am buying you a beer, and who does not want that, and makes for a tremendous Christmas gift. So whatever you're doing, pause this video, download that app, take advantage of Tavour today. So yeah, Don Mafia, the top 10 NFL ranked teams. Now, I've been holding back on this video because I understand that it's going to be relatively controversial, right? I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of comments being like, oh, Dan, what about the Jets, bro? They should totally be number 6. And so, but you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I did my research and I really tried to make this as objective as possible. So I certainly hope you enjoy. And without further ado, let's just dive in. Number 10, the Indianapolis Colts. Now, they've been flirting with the top 10 practically this entire season, maybe minus the week 1 loss against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that I think Phillip Rivers and the Colts offense in general just really haven't been able to gain that chemistry. Well, this past week, it finally looked like Rivers had the best game as a Colt so far this year. The offense hung up 430 yards on the Tennessee Titans on a defense that is actually pretty damn good. Mr. Hines, that running back and with the Indianapolis Colts, is an absolute stud. He's been a burner, a huge asset to that Indianapolis Colts offense. And this chemistry is so important that now it is finally pairing together with an amazing defense, arguably the best defense in the NFL. Watch out for the Colts. I'm willing to bet that number 10 is not the highest they get on this list. Number 9, the Arizona Cardinals. Now, saying that name on camera paired with number 9 legitimately made me want to vomit the second the word came out of my mouth. We all know that I'm a Bills fan, and nothing hurt more than witnessing probably the most memed catch in the year of 2020, where DeAndre Hopkins broke my damn heart, and hundreds of thousands of Bills fans everywhere. But you know what? At the end of the day, I cannot sleep on the Cardinals, right? As far as their run game is concerned, they ended up going on ahead and running all over the Buffalo Bills. Not that that's really a lot to be proud of, especially since the Buffalo Bills run defense couldn't stop a junior varsity football squad. But at the end of the day, they still used that right into their offensive game plan. Their defense made plays when they needed to. They've been doing it all season. And I think Cardinals fans really should be thanking Bill O'Brien for frankly being a idiot and sending DeAndre Hopkins over there for essentially $3. He has opened up your offense. He is your true number 1 receiver, and perfect example, when you need a big play to happen and there's only a couple of seconds left, that's your dude. And once you pair that with the progression of Kyler Murray into his second year in the NFL, things are looking promising for the Cardinals. I'm really interested to see how they play against the Seahawks on Sunday. All right, number eight, the Miami Dolphins. Now, there's no question that out of any fan base that trolls me the hardest, it is the Miami Dolphins. A lot of that has to do with my buddy TD Fins talk, but you know what? It's all love. It's all fun. Dolphins fans, believe it or not, I do think you guys have a very, very good team. I really do. They've won 5 in a row. Seems like the rookie quarterback is doing his job, and that defense, dude, is really outperforming itself. Now, granted, as far as total yards allowed in the air, as far as total yards allowed on the ground, they're pretty much in the middle of the pack in the league. But what they do very, very well is creating takeaways and giving their offense tremendous field position to take advantage of. Now, Chan Gailey is not known for his aggressive play calling. Bills fans know that. And he's been relatively conservative when it comes to the offensive play calling. But when your defense is balling out like that, you can afford to be conservative. This defense is making a lot of plays and opportunities for its offense to dominate, and whatever they are doing, it is working. And at the end of the day, their next 3 games are absolute cupcakes, so the AFC East has just gotten very, very interesting. All right, number 7 dropped a couple of spots, but I don't think it's the end of the world for this team whatsoever. The Baltimore Ravens. Now, it's been interesting because it seems like their offense hasn't been firing on all cylinders, especially like in 2019. Some people are theorizing that the offense is just getting way too predictable, but at the end of the day, I'm really not going to judge the Baltimore Ravens on their loss against the New England Patriots this past Sunday due to the weather alone. I mean, it was legitimately like a monsoon in Foxborough during that time, but I still think that the Ravens have exactly what they need in order to make the playoffs. We shall see whether or not that they can make a deep run into it, but they essentially have the exact same weapons. One criticism I'll give is how the hell are they not making Hollywood Brown a part of their offense? It really baffles me. I have no idea why he seems to have a minimal role in that. If they start introing him into the game plan, I think that they'll be back to their 2019 ways. Their defense has been sort of suffering a lot of injuries. Being without Calais Campbell is not a good thing. I think they're just plagued with injuries. I still think they're a great team. I don't think that they're going to catch the Pittsburgh Steelers in order to win the division, but I do see them making the wild card. I still have them at number 7, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be bouncing back next week. All right, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, don't get me wrong, nothing made me happier than to see Tom Brady the week before get his ass beat by the New Orleans Saints on television. But as much as I could dream, it is just simply unrealistic to think that Tom Brady and the offense, and the defense for that matter, that he has at his disposal was ever going to be out of the top 10. And they essentially had a get-right game this past week against the Carolina Panthers. I mean, honestly, it looks like they're playing Ultimate Team on Madden 17 at this point. Like, I mean, these guys have so many damn weapons, and Tom Brady is legitimately spreading it all across the field. He's not gravitating toward anybody. Very difficult for just about any defense to stop, minus their 3 losses this year, obviously. And so I do like the Buccaneers. I still think that they're going on ahead and they're gaining that chemistry. I think once it gets into late November, early December, they're really going to start putting it all together. I'm very interested to see how that division is going to shake up, because with Drew Brees going down, only time will tell. And so their defense is absolutely insane. I mean, they're the best team at stopping the run. You cannot run the ball on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they're top 10 in passing defense too. So, I mean, at the end of the day, this team on paper should be a shoo-in for the Super Bowl, but they have their weaknesses, and they're not going to. But as of right now, I have them listed at number 6. All right, now, number 5, the Buffalo Bills. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Out of all my research, I've looked at several lists. Some people have the Bills at 6. Some people have the Bills at 4. One person had the Bills at 3. I didn't necessarily agree with that, but I think 5 is probably the perfect medium of where they are. It's been a roller coaster so far, right? I mean, the week prior, we end up stunning the world and beating the Seattle Seahawks, taking advantage of that absolutely disgusting secondary. And then we end up going to Arizona, where in retrospect, we should have won that game. We were just one batted ball away. As far as looking at the Bills, right? This entire defense has not looked like our 2019 defense whatsoever. And I think a lot of that has to do with not only some of the moves that we made, some of the new faces. We haven't been healthy. Our offense, knock on wood, has managed to stay relatively healthy, but our defense, not so much. I mean, during the Seattle game, that was the first time that we ended up having all of our DBs playing at once that were healthy, and then that COVID list ended up happening. Hence why we ended up losing to the Cardinals, in my opinion, being short-staffed there. If the Buffalo Bills can even get to 60% of what they were in 2019, then I have full confidence going in for the rest of the season and into the playoffs. As far as our offense is concerned, we currently have the leading passer in the NFL and the leading receiver in the NFL. Josh Allen has developed very nicely. He's throwing 68% completion rate. He's absolutely balling. He's spreading it around the field to all of his receivers. For once, as a Bills fan, the offense is not an issue. It is our defense. And if I want to see the Bills get in the top 3, we need to make sure that our defense gets right. All right, the New Orleans Saints going to be dropping at number 4. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm kind of nervous about the Saints, to be honest with you. News just broke that Drew Brees fractured a couple of ribs, punctured lung, and it looks like it is famous Jameis time, baby. Get them crab legs. Things are happening. Yeah, when I look at this New Orleans Saints team, they've been dominating, and they're very lucky to have a tremendous backfield with Alvin Kamara. I mean, when that guy's on the field, things are going to happen. Fantasy owners know it. Their run defense has been absolutely tremendous. They're shutting down teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This team is a damn good team. But now that Drew Brees is going to be out, the jury is going to be out to see if Jameis Winston actually did correct his interception issue. Last year in Tampa Bay, I mean, dude, minus the interceptions, his 30 for 30 season, was a pretty decent quarterback. He apparently got LASIK this offseason, so we shall see. Do keep in mind, the Saints are a very well-coached team, and when Drew Brees was out last season for 5 games, they won 5-0. So at the end of the day, we have to see what's going on, but right now, the New Orleans Saints are sitting at number 4. All right, the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. They are going to be number 3 on my list. You can never count out Aaron Rodgers. Now, there were a lot of Packers fans that were upset that they didn't end up drafting any additional weapons for Rodgers, and rather they ended up getting a quarterback or his eventual replacement, one of the two. But, of course, you have Devontae Adams, and MVS has been absolutely balling for them, something that a lot of people did not expect. A lot of Packers fans were ready to give up on this dude, but here he is. Same with Aaron Jones, doing his thing once again. And the defense, bro. Normally they have been good. And so I know that a lot of people were skeptical that they almost lost to the Jaguars, but there's a couple of things that I like to throw in there. Number 1, weather conditions. And number 2, they were without their DBs last week. And so they've been without their CB2, Kevin King, and so Alexander was out this past week. So, I mean, I'm really not concerned about the fact that the game against the Jaguars was so tight. I'm not going to worry about that. The Packers are still sitting at number 3, and as long as they have Aaron Rodgers, I see him having a hell of a season. Number 2, the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, honestly, guys, like when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, you look like they are 100% set up to running it back. I mean, right now, they just have a single loss on the entire season. In my opinion, I think that they have a scarier offense than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in my opinion. I mean, these guys are absolutely balling. Pat Mahomes, best quarterback in the league, in my opinion. I think he's going to win MVP this year, especially with Travis Kelce. I mean, he's been like his number 1 target, especially since Hill hasn't been nearly as explosive as he was in 2019. Their defense, who during the beginning of the season, and even at times last season, who gets shit on a regular basis, they've been outperforming themselves. They've been keeping their team in the game, but let's be honest with you, the Chiefs are just in business of outscoring the hell out of their opponents, and say that their defense lets up a couple of points. No big deal. The Chiefs are still a threat in this AFC, guys. They really are, and they could be Super Bowl champions again, but only time will tell. Now, last but not least, number 1. This is controversial. Number 1, the New York Jets. The Pittsburgh Steelers. That is right. The only undefeated team left in football. Now, when I look at this, guys, like this team's defense is scary. They lead the league in pressure rate, QB hits. They're top 5 in takeaways. This defense is absolutely incredible. Now, some criticism that they receive is the fact that they haven't played a full defensive outing, right? Like they have like some type of like lull during a quarter, much like the Buffalo Bills have a third quarter lull on offense. It seems like the Pittsburgh Steelers are having the same issue at some point during their game. But overall, this defense is damn effective. They get to the quarterback, they cause takeaways. And I mean, this is a defense right here. This is a Super Bowl defense that they have. And I'm very interested to see if they even have a challenge throughout the rest of the season. I think the Buffalo Bills game is going to be their biggest challenge moving forward. And I wouldn't be surprised if they finish off this regular season with 2 losses, maybe less. I mean, we will see how it plays out. And their offense is being somewhat efficient. I mean, especially with Claypool. I mean, what a rookie, dude. What a rookie. He's absolutely balling, especially with Juju. He's doing his job as well. Their running game is suspect. They need to figure out the issue with their run game. They seem to be more of just like a defensive first type football team and hoping the defense can get them in favorable field position so they can just shoot one down to Claypool for a touchdown. But overall, the Pittsburgh Steelers are the best team in the NFL at this point. Don Mafia, thank you so much for tuning in to yet another edition of the Don Mafia Report. I certainly hope that you enjoyed this NFL Power Rankings. Say that you enjoy it. Do me a favor, smash the fuck out of that like button, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and before I let you go, always remember, let's go Buffalo.